We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 5:05 on April 2nd, the meeting of the Council Compensation Committee. And let me call roll. Apple.
Here.
Keith. Fugate.
Here.
Torrey.
Here.
Tobias.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
We have 5 members present. It's a quorum. And then we'll go ahead and start out with let's move up the select a chair and vice chair, and that way the chair can open the citizen comment period. So we can take nominations. Go ahead.
I would like to nominate Ms. Fugate as chair of the commission.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thanks.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, so that carries 5-0. You have the chair. So I'll open it up to you to select a vice chair.
Wonderful. Yay. So we'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair. Any takers? Any volunteers? We have to have one.
I'll be vice chair.
Okay. So we have a self-nomination. Any
Second.
other? Second? Okay.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations.
For 2 meetings, I feel like
We can do this, right? We have got this under
I don't think
control.
I'll have to worry about anything.
Okay, so I guess as chair, at this point, we'll move back up to citizen comment periods and open that. Do we have any citizens signed up to speak?
We do have one.
You're gonna have to coach me. And do I need to say anything? Do anything at this point other than introduce Miss Knight? You have 3 minutes, and I'm assuming that Miss Jennifer will be timing.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lila Knight. Our representatives of the Texas Legislature are paid $600 per month with an additional $190 per diem when the legislature is in session. If you ever spent a day at the Capitol testifying at a hearing, you would understand just how hard our representatives work. The days are very long, generally 12 to 14 hours. And when not in session, they work on interim committees and meet with constituents in their districts preparing bills. I can't remember the last time any member of our city council held a town hall meeting. Many, not all, of our council members don't even bother to respond to emails, not even an acknowledgement that a citizen's email has been received. And 50% of our council members have no phone contacts listed on the city's website. If our council members are going to receive a raise for all the hard work they do, I hope they accept the fact that the citizens who are paying for this increase will expect them to be more responsive. I've got just a few questions for all of you. First, I would like to know which council members appointed each of you, as there was no formal application process and this information was not supplied to the public in the council backup when you were nominated. Secondly, okay, we already know this one, you're going to have your meetings at 5 o'clock. And I thank you very much. Oh, forget that too. For all in your meetings in the room, everybody can watch. Okay, so that's not happening. I understand that you're under a compressed schedule to get your charge done as soon as possible so that it can be incorporated into the upcoming budget. But I believe that it's important that all members of the City Council be allowed to vote on this issue, and the Place 3 council member will not be elected until the first week of May. So there's at least one council member who will not be having a say on what y'all will be recommending. Our council really does not start the budget process until later in the summer, and of course they can make budget amendments all year long. So, too bad. I want to thank all of you very much for serving on this very thankless task, and I wish all of you good luck.
Thank you, Ms. Knight.
Oh, and I have handouts. And I made one for you too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right. So, I'm seeing that we have no other citizens signed up to speak, so we'll close citizen comment period. And next up on our agenda is discussion and possible action related to council compensation, recommendation, planning, tasks, and study. I'm assuming that staff is here to present some information to us, or not at this point. We just open it for discussion? Okay. I guess as chair, can I ask a question of staff to see if we have specific questions about what other communities are doing? Is that where we, let you guys know our questions, and maybe if you have some information, you're able to share that with us, or we kind of left our own devices to research that on our own?
Probably a combination of both.
Both?
We're
Okay.
here to, like, if we have information, if you ask a question and we can answer it, then we will do that. But I think also we'll want to assign our
Just different.
task force to,
Okay.
yeah.
You'll have to handhold me through the whole chair thing, so I don't know if I'm going to do this correctly. Whoops. So I guess I'll open it for discussion at this point. See what questions we might have, what information we think we might need in order to make an informed decision or recommendation, rather, to the council. And I mean, if anybody wants to share at this point, I'm going to open the floor for just open discussion. Yes, sir.
I've got
Mr.
some
O'Pell.
questions first.
Sure.
And it's going to be mainly, like I said, for you. When deciding employee salaries for the city of Kyle, do you look at other peer cities and say, okay, we need to pay on a basis comparable to them? Or do you just do zero-based?
Okay. This is Sandra Duran, for the record, Human Resources Director for the City of Kyle. When I've done salary surveys in the past, City Council has given us cities to compare to. It used to be Seguin, Church, Universal City, San Marcos, Buda. There's about 9 of them. Just recently, they asked us to compare ourselves to Leander and Schertz because the population matched a little bit better on that. So that is the analysis that I'm running right now on each of the positions. The ones that are similar, what they're starting or their salary ranges compared to ours.
Do we happen to know what elected officials in Leander and Schertz are making any salary?
They, as far as I know, they do not get compensated.
Okay. I do know San Marcos does.
Marcus does.
I'm not sure it's in there.
Tell me a little bit about the city's pension plans. When is a person vested in pension plans, city employees?
A person is to have a benefits with our Texas municipal is 5 years,
Okay.
and they'll become vested.
Do you have
Now,
any?
I don't know as far as how that would work with city council member. You have to be a full-time employee. So it depends if the council member is going to be considered full-time or if there's another.
Yeah, how do you consider someone a full-time employee?
Anybody that works over 32 hours.
Okay, all right. Does the pension plan have something like a rule of 60?
So the pension plan is you work 20 years or at age 60, you qualify for that. And you can get service from other public entities and attach it to that.
So it has to be though at age 60. So it's not like where I come from at the city of Dallas is get full retirement benefits if your age plus years of service equals 60. That's not how it works with.
No,
Okay.
either 20 or 60 years of age.
Okay. Explain the difference to me. Someone getting paid $1,000 a month versus someone getting paid $750 a month plus a $250 a month car allowance.
The difference?
Yeah.
Well, that's taxable income, so the $750 will be attached to the salary.
And the other wouldn't?
The other would just be the salary. There
Okay.
would be no
All right.
car allowance.
I got to tell you, just for everybody's information, because of the compressed time frame we had, I did a little bit of research coming in, including looking at a very interesting, it's available online if you want to see it, a study done by MIT on municipal salaries. It was done in 2016. They determined that a livable wage was $23.03 an hour. I think that's high, but that's what they said a livable wage was. I also contacted all the members of the current city council and several former council members. I got back responses from 3 of the current city council members, 1 former council members, just to get an idea about how many hours a week they put into this. The mayor told me he averages about 45 hours a week. The city council persons, their average turned out to be about 35 hours a week. I applied that to what I thought was a suitable minimum wage. And the number that I am at right now is for the mayor to be paid $2,000 a month plus a $275 a month car allowance, along with health insurance. Council members, $1,750 a month plus a $200 a month car allowance plus health insurance. And that's where I am right now, just so that everybody knows.
So that was for the mayor, you said again? Sorry.
The mayor, $2,000 a month plus a $275 a month car allowance plus health insurance. Council members, $1,750 a month plus a $200 a month car allowance plus health insurance.
Do we know what the city of San Marcos says?
It's a little bit higher.
A little higher than that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that county commissioners and county judges are compensated. Have we, I know it's apples and oranges, but I mean, it is an elected official position that does receive
I
compensation.
think
The county judges, I think, are tied to district judges' salaries, but I'm not too sure how they establish the county commissioners.
San Marcos is right around the $2,500 a month and plus health insurance.
I have the San Marcos.
Oh, what
It's
is it?
$1,450 per month for council member
okay.
and $1,700 for mayor.
Okay.
Okay.
1700.
1,700 and 1,450. Is that,
1750 or 1700.
sorry,
1,700 for mayor, $1,450 for council member, and
do they receive
And that is of
auto?
what time?
They
What year?
have a reimbursement plan they can utilize of an additional $500 per month for specific purposes. The additional amount is taken from the council member's travel account. The mayor's annual travel allowance is $18,000, and the council member's annual travel is $12,000.
And when was that? As of,
That was sent to me March 14th.
okay. For some reason, I'm mistaken. I thought
Well,
they had
maybe-
just upped that last year.
Well, maybe to that 500, that's up,
Okay.
the reimbursable.
Yeah.
And if you add that to the 1,700, that's, 2,200.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
where it
could
could.
be something as well. Do we have any information from TML about what other cities do in terms of compensation for their elected officials, or no? Can we get that if we don't?
I don't know,
I mean,
but I can
me is not
ask.
I'm not a member of TML, so I'm just assuming that we would have to request under something
I don't
that
know
is
if
a
they
member.
would like that data, but I can find out.
Okay, that'd probably be helpful to know.
If they have something like that, then we can send it out
Okay.
between now and the next meeting.
Okay.
If we can get our hands on it before then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I may, another thing, where I'm coming from, I see Ms. Knight quoted me here, since I was the person who did the Kyle report for many, many years. So I followed the council very closely. And I know how many hours I put in each week doing that. And it finally got to the point where, hey, wait a minute, I came down here to retire. And I am now working 35, 40 hours a week doing this, not getting paid for it. Nah, well, I came down, and you know, it's a lot to ask of someone to do this, and even what I'm talking about, I doubt if any of us in this room could live on $2,000 a month. Really don't. But I don't want to dissuade very good people from running
Because they can't
because they can't afford to do it. I know that there are some people who did run, served a term, and said, "Wait a minute, I can't afford to do it," and we lost some good people on the council because of it.
Right.
And I think that's a disservice to the citizens. So I'm not proposing something that anybody could live on strictly.
Right.
But I think it's fair.
Something to supplement because of the time that's being put
That's
into.
right. And it's
For compensation.
and let me tell you, as following as close as I did when I was doing the Kyle report, it's a lot more than a lot of people realize.
So I guess what specifically is the council looking, like the charge, maybe I shouldn't have said, I'm sorry, a specific recommendation as to the amount, a specific or a recommendation as to like basically up or down based on, these factors to consider them setting it, or I mean, are they looking at a number from us? If we go back, they're looking for a number from us.
They haven't provided any kind of.
Specific direction. Okay. Because I think a lot of it too hinges on budgetary limitations, like kind of what's available when it comes time to actually do the budget. I mean, we could come back and say everybody should get X amount of dollars, and well, if X amount of dollars aren't available, you can't appropriate that money. So I was just curious.
Well, the city manager could find a way to put it. If they set this, if the council set this by ordinance, then it would be up to the city manager to find a way
to provide for it.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else have any initial thoughts?
So some of my
Chris?
questions that I had is,
Okay.
of course, like where would the money come from, right? And would that affect the public, right off the bat? Would there be increase in taxes or whatever it might be?
Right.
How does it affect? Where does that money come from, and what's the cause and effect?
Well, it makes it come from the general fund,
Yeah.
right? The general fund appropriation.
I believe so. I really
Yeah,
don't know.
that's where all salaries usually come from, the general fund. Well,
Unless the position is from Public Works
Yeah.
or for
And
drainage.
it comes
or-
from like a
it comes from
revenue
those are more enterprise.
enterprise fund, yeah.
Do we have any other cities to compare it to that are currently paying the mayor and councilman?
If you want to compare yourself to San Marcos, those are
That's the closest
that's-
one.
Yeah.
What about New Braunfels? Do they not?
I do not know, but I can find out.
I would think New Braunfels is
I mean, I know
another similar.
it's a bigger city, obviously.
Yeah.
I know San Antonio, but I know San Antonio does, and they went through this a number of years back.
Right.
Um,
What about like Georgetown, Round Rock?
yeah, that I don't know. That's why I was asking
Cedar
if
Park.
if we can get if TML, Texas Municipal League, does some type of a survey and they have that information, that would be probably the best source to get the information quickly, at least.
I mean, I've done the surveys in the past. We've done them against Cedar Park, Georgetown, the ones you mentioned, New Braunfels. We just stopped because they got so big. Pflugerville is another one. But we have regional meetings, all the HR directors, so I can send an email to them in this region.
Just to see, sure.
I was surprised when I checked and saw
Not
the
to,
big
not,
Pflugerville.
Yeah.
Not to say that we shouldn't be progressive in that.
Right.
The-
Because I'm thinking too that their charters have to allow for it.
Right.
So if they're not, I mean, ours does allow for it. If other charters do not allow for it, then it's off the table. I mean, unless they, change their charter, amend the
Right.
charter. So this point, let's see. Let's go through some of the tasks, some of the things that we think we need in order to make informed recommendations. So we've listed off, getting information possibly from TML, like a survey regarding the salary of elected officials. I would also like to see or get information from Hays County as well for the Commissioners Court members.
Like see where their salaries are at as far as hours put in and
Yeah.
okay.
Then, is there someone that oversees those hours that are put in? Like if you feel someone is lacking, is there authority to?
Remind me, does the city? Probably not. I don't know. I'm getting organizations confused, but does the city provide a 990? They don't, do they? Submit a 990?
No, they're
No.
considered
Dead public.
through payroll.
Okay.
An employee.
Darn. Because that would list that.
So what you're saying, sir, is there a way of tracking their hours in a sense, or
Yeah, and maybe not necessarily tracking, but just holding
Or just-
them accountable.
just holding
like,
them as far as
you're
that.
expected to do this, and making sure that if for some reason it's not
Okay.
being done.
Yeah, is there some type
Is
of a
there-
tracking mechanism, a tracking device, like a tracking device? That sounds horrible. Not that. That's not what I meant
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Not want to know where they're going. But a tracking mechanism to know how much time they're spending on.
Right. To
Yeah,
see the hours.
I was hoping we had more time, because I was
To
hoping
get
we
to
could
that,
give
like,
our
give a
council people like
survey.
well, just a little sheet where they could jot down, a diary, keep a diary, a daily
Yeah.
diary on the number of hours that they spent on something like that. But unfortunately, I don't think we have the time to really have a
Luxury.
good picture of that.
They just have to log into Facebook every time they're starting and
Yeah.
there's
Post something.
their application or something like that?
I mean, other than asking them, there's really, just for their a spitball kind of guess.
And that's why I went
Yeah.
ahead and asked, those council members to give me that information.
Just right off the ball, right top of your head, how many hours
Yeah,
you put in
yeah.
for?
Well, I emailed them and
Just-
asked them to think it over for about 24 hours, and then come back with me so they had time to think. I
Sure.
didn't ask them to give me a number right off the top of their head. It was
Okay.
done by text messages.
Okay. So I guess what we're saying is we're going to try to get some information about the comparison of our city versus the other cities like say New Braunfels or Leander that are the same capacity as far as the citizens, as far as our growth.
I
Maybe
think-
in the next couple of years and looking at that and see where they're.
I think honestly, I don't know how many city charters actually would allow them to compensate their council, because it's not something that is normal, is the norm. I think that people are moving towards that,
Yeah.
definitely. But so I don't know if like us comparing ourselves necessarily like to Leander or Cedar Park or
Exactly.
whomever is going to necessarily work. I think to find out just across the state
Yes.
who's doing it.
Who's doing it?
Yeah,
Just to get
it's
a
helpful
ballpark,
to
just to get
know.
numbers,
Yeah,
get a
just to
figure.
know that information.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm with Pete on the fact that I feel like in order to have someone that's in the capacity that's able to actually spend the time and dedicate the resources ongoing to it, you have to compensate them somehow. Otherwise, you get what you pay for. And if it's free,
Yes.
you get what you pay for.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
you want to
True.
have the best, person, quality in that role, governing for us. So that's just my personal opinion. But I would like to know, I would have no way of like pinpointing or pegging a number at this point
Exactly.
without seeing like what other cities are doing.
The way I came up with this number,
Yeah, and I
will
like
tell you.
at least.
I thought, right now, the way the entire country is moving, they're moving towards a minimum wage of $15 an hour. And basically, I applied that minimum wage
I mean,
to the number of hours that the people said that they worked. That's how I came up with
right.
it. So I thought paying them a minimum wage, the hours they worked, was fair.
That's fair.
And that's how I came up with the numbers. It was,
Right. When so I'm curious too, since we do know San Marcos does this. Did they share with you their methodology and how they pegged their number at all?
No, but they did send me their ordinance and the resolution. I don't know if that would be in there.
If it's not, I'd be interested if they would share that information.
I mean, this last one, it seems like there was an increase from 2013. So they increased it by $450 per month. So it's kind of like, they were due for an increase, and that's why they did that.
So they
I
made
don't
that
know
increase
where-
recently over a 2013 amount. Is that what I heard you say?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. So they had an increase recently over an amount that was established in 2013. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what it seems
Okay, so
like.
they've been doing this for a long time then.
Or longer.
Yeah.
This one is back from. I don't know, it might be just an ordinance number, but the way they have their numbers is 2013/14. And then this new ordinance is 2015.
In their charter section on compensation, it doesn't list the amounts. The last time it was updated was in '08. That section of how they go about changing it.
establishing it. So yeah, I think it'd be nice to get some information from them as to when it was established, how it was set, and then kind of their methodology. And then whatever we find out from TML, it'd be interesting, maybe kind of lay those communities out and say, okay, pick a handful of those and kind of find the same information out from those folks.
This looks like it was adopted in 2014 by Mayor Daniel Guerrero.
Oh, yeah, that was a
Giving
while back.
him a call if anybody knows. Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I want to change the subject very briefly here for a second, but I want a ruling from the chair. In this night's request that we say who appointed us, is there any objection to doing that?
I have no objection.
No.
I don't have any objection.
Okay.
So I think Chris already established who appointed him, but we'll go ahead. We'll just go down the line.
Yep, Red Coach.
Tex Ellison.
Daphne Tenorio.
Alex Villalobos.
Travis Mitchell.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. Any other?
So is there anybody?
Chris looks like he
Is there
wants to say
anybody?
something.
Sure. I mean, is there anybody opposed at
Right.
this point
Yeah.
to council getting paid? No.
Well, they already are getting paid.
Well, right.
Well, yeah.
That's the amount.
Right.
The amount.
That's the amount we gotta go with. We
But
gotta
no.
decide on. No.
Right.
No,
And
no,
I agree with that too. I feel people should be compensated for their time, and I feel in most cases, their time is probably more valuable than what we're going to pay them. It's going to be at a reduction, but something to supplement their life and what they're going through and for their time. Just figuring out that I think figuring out
that
a
sweet
number,
spot, kind of that
yeah.
formula,
Right.
something that can be. I mean, because too, you want to have it, you want to set it, but then you also kind of want to have a methodology behind it so that it can be adjusted if need be, or it can be, you know, changed with the times because it's not going to be static.
Right.
And with the salary or something like that, we can go back to the accountability part on that Ms. Lina was bringing up.
Exactly.
About somebody not responding to this or whatever the issue is. It's in that scenario. We can look at that.
I may have missed this earlier. Is there a set budget right now for them? Or, I don't know if it came up earlier or not.
We haven't discussed it,
Yeah,
but
but there is nothing in place, right?
For what they're
no, they
getting
do
paid
have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there is
They
something
do,
right
yes.
They get paid.
So the mayor gets paid $200, and each council member gets paid $100, and that's reduced based on the number of meetings that we have that month if they're absent.
Okay.
So if we happen to have 3 meetings that month and they missed one of them, they would get 2/3 of 100 or 2/3 of 200.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Which, if I may interject, I think is a little bit of a fallacy because that's based on just a city council meeting. And there's a lot more to being a council member than going to a city council meeting. You know, I worked for the city of Dallas for a number of years and worked closely with a number of city council people there, along with what I've been did here with the Kyle Report plus other communities. And I actually ran political campaigns for people running for council people, offices all over the country. So I know there's a lot more to it than just going to city council meetings. So.
Bless you. Okay.
Are there any other parts of this that need to be discussed? What do you
I
think that the
can't-
public is going to say about this?
Well, I mean,
I know it's hard to say, but
I think we have to make a recommendation based on the knowledge
feel.
that well, not just of how we feel even,
Or-
but the information
information.
that is gathered, and once
Sure.
we have, we can look across the board. As long as what we're doing is, or what we're recommending is justified and can be backed up,
Sure.
people will not agree. Some will, some won't, but
right.
we
I
can't
agree.
kind of act in fear for what
I
some
agree.
may think is inappropriate or, not
I think it is worth noting, though, that the charter
was just,
amendment to
just
create this
doesn't have
committee
any.
was approved overwhelmingly. So
so
there's that.
Yeah.
that's a nice point back to that. Lead off with that.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, remember this? So, because this is not like some rogue, like just out of the blue, all of a sudden we're going to,
Right.
consider this. This is something that's,
It's been in the works for a while. Okay.
contemplated at
Okay.
least, yeah, that could happen. So, I like to have information. I am so happy you pulled together information. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, that really helps me. I apologize. I'm just kind of maybe under the assumption that we would have some data to go on, but we can definitely see what's available and then kind of on our own pull information or do some internet searches and find things that way. I just feel better whenever it's like if TML has a study, I would be so happy because it's it's kind of like your good housekeeping seal of approval. Some official organization did it. It wasn't just Trista doing a Google search and found all this good stuff.
Exactly.
So hopefully that is there. But if we have to do that, we have to do that. So anything else at this point? Any comments or anything? Yes, Jennifer.
I just noticed that I had an email from Christine at 4:25 this afternoon asking that the committee excuse her absence as she had to work.
Okay.
Okay, I move that we excuse her absence.
Second.
All those in favor? Yay, aye? Okay, she's excused.
Excused.
We're good. Okay.
So then at this point, it seems like the next step is to go get more information and
Right.
get the information that we've requested, and then take that and
Right.
move forward from there.
And I think, ladies, if there's a way to find out about TML, if that's available, and if like as quickly as possible, and if it's not, then basically I think then we will have to, divvy up and say, okay, let's do a little research on our own. You take XY city, and you take whoever, and so if in the case that we have to do that, let's go ahead and make our list out so we know that the cities we would want to look at. So we know already St. Marcus, and we do have some of that information, so that they may not need to be called. But who else then would we want to compare ourselves to in the area? Leander,
New Braunfels,
New
maybe.
Braunfels.
I would want to look at cities that are growing not at the population we are now,
Right.
but that are growing at the pace
The rate.
that we are now.
I mean,
So anything up and down the I-35 corridor. I mean,
Yeah.
quite honestly, because that's the fastest growing corridor in the nation right now. So anybody, so that would be
I think Georgetown, Round Rock would be
Yeah.
good,
Georgetown.
potential good cities to look at.
Pflugerville's growing like gangbusters too.
Yeah.
And I might think of places further up north like Frisco or which is growing by leaps and bounds. Allen.
McKinney? No?
No, but there's some places around there, Melissa and Hannah, that I know are growing very quickly. But Allen, I don't know how much Plano is still growing. But Frisco is really going gangbusters. So,
And Sandra, you mentioned some cities that we, as a city, compare ourselves to, or that
That we used to.
you use.
It was Georgetown, Pflugerville, Cedar Park, Seguin, Schertz. Universal City was in there, but that's like really small, so it doesn't compare that much.
Well,
And Leander, but we already contacted them.
so will we request information from all these areas, or will we just narrow them down to a couple?
We think that we would basically, there's how many of us? There's 6 of us on this committee, so we would each take a couple of cities, depending on how many we have, and make contact with them and ask them. But we need to determine what questions we're going to ask them, so we're all asking the same thing. So the questions we would need to ask, first of all, do they compensate their council?
Does that compensation package include
If
health
yeah,
insurance?
we can just say if so, what does that include? And of course, the amounts. Then I'd be interested in then seeing any type of resolution, ordinance, whatever governing document that basically established it. Getting a copy of that.
Do we ask on average on how many times do they meet per month, or any other?
We can ask if they have information on how many hours their council members and
Total number of hours
work
possible,
yeah,
documented hours.
hours spent on council work per week.
How they track those hours, maybe?
Yeah, and if they track. That info is tracked. I'd be interested in knowing basically, and if we got a copy of the ordinance or what have you, we would know. But when they started doing this, or when they did it, and why, like what made them consider it and ultimately go with it, and what was the public reaction since that question was asked. I don't know if we'll get anything on this, but I always like to ask the question of lessons learned. Like if you were doing it over again today, I would assume that people that we're talking to were actually in place whenever,
would like
they
to know if
established it.
I'd also like to know if they're considering any changes.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Any changes to
Considering,
their,
yeah.
any changes to their current
Mhm.
compensation?
Compensation plans,
Yeah.
yeah.
package? Okay.
Okay. So again, we have the first question is: if their council receives compensation? If so, what does that include? And of course, the amount. Get a copy of the establishing ordinance or whatever the document is. See if they have. Well, they should. The approximate number of hours spent by council members and mayor on work per week, council work per week, and if they are tracking that information, if so, how, when and why they established compensation for their council members, as well as
The
public
tracking
reaction.
thing bothers me a little bit.
Well, if they're tracking it, though, it would show.
But I'm not sure city, having worked for cities, I'm not sure a city staff can track the time that elected official spends.
They might not. I mean, but it's just a question to ask them if that's.
I think
You don't
I
think
think
so?
it could be illegal, actually.
Oh. Is it illegal to ask if how much time they spend on their
I think if you're asking the city, do you track the number of hours your city council people spent on doing
You
it?
would have
I
to
think
ask the
that,
city council you would have to ask the city council members directly.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you can ask the city if they're tracking their elected officials.
So we can't ask the city, for example, Cedar Park, them directly, do you track them? But we can ask,
We can ask the council
Our
people,
council people,
the council people, how many hours they
is there a way
spend.
to where you track on your own?
Yeah.
Or,
You can ask the council people if they to give you an estimate, which is what I did.
an average?
But yeah, asking the city that's like me asking. They tell me track Alex's number of hours he spends. You're going to go, well, I can't do that.
Yeah, you never know, exactly. So would we ask it that way, or will we
Well, that's what I'm saying.
rephrase
Maybe
it?
it's
How
just
would-
maybe it's
how would
not.
we-
Maybe,
So much
maybe
you
how many meetings you have?
Yeah, maybe it's not so much
many
how
hours?
many, tell me how many hours down to
hours
the
are long?
second that your council members work on stuff.
I think you could ask them to estimate the number of hours council people apply to city work, if you want to. But it would be their estimate. And you do
Well, and
that
I
for
think
what it's
too,
worth.
though, we may get to that if they're able to share with us their methodology. Because if they are assuming, one would think they would assume a number of hours for council members or a number of hours spent on council work for the mayor
Yes.
in calculating that. Very much the same way that you assumed a certain number of hours multiplied by your minimum wage, kind of,
Then instead of talking about the number of hours they spent, why don't we ask them, after what does the compensation package include, how did you arrive at that compensation package? How does that
how
sound?
did you arrive at that number? Yeah,
Yeah.
that number.
Yeah, and I think that would be better
Yes.
than asking them to
Yeah.
track the number or estimating them.
How did you Okay.
How did you arrive at that?
And I'd be interested as kind of a follow up to that. How did you arrive at that number, and then how often is that number reviewed? How often is that reviewed?
Mhm.
Do you review it every budget cycle to make sure you're still on point, or
Does it
does it
increase,
come up
decrease,
for
or
review
stay
every
same?
3 years, or like, you know?
Well, wouldn't that be a companion question to the resolution?
It could be stated in there, but it might not.
No, that's
be.
say
Yeah.
when you ask for the resolution, and how often is that resolution reviewed?
Right, okay.
And also, if a person's been on city council for, let's say, a certain amount of years, like with what we used to have, is there like a step compensation on that end, to where like if they put in 5 years, if they got a 3-year term, or if it's they get reelected twice, or do they get a compensation increase after a certain amount of years?
That would
If-
probably
if-
be within the, whenever we ask them, yeah.
That
how
would be in the
their-
compensation
that would be in their-
resolution,
Yeah,
Okay,
they would
so
have that
all
established.
together on that end.
Yeah.
If they've served amount of 8 years, an increase in step would kick in after their 9th year or something like that. On that end.
Yeah, I think that would be established. You know, if they had something like that, it would be lined
Mhm.
out as part of the resolution,
Okay.
the methodology.
And I would like to know, too, by the next meeting, if you could find out if council members would be eligible to become, if they wanted to enroll in the city's pension plan.
Call it TMRS.
Huh?
You want me to ask the pension plan, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would be interested to know if they could be part of the pension plan.
Okay, so I think we have. All right, let's go over questions again. Make sure we're not missing anything. Do you provide compensation for your council? If so, what does that include? What is the amount? How did you arrive at that? Requesting a copy of the resolution to establish that, and then how often is that resolution reviewed? Changes are those to be made if appropriate. Can you provide the estimate or estimated hours spent on council work per week for council members as well as mayor? How long has this been in place? Why was it established? Public reaction? Any lessons learned? Are they considering any changes to the compensation plan this time? Is there anything else you would want to
No,
know?
just-
Who should redirect these queries to, do you
Yeah.
think? Would it be the Human Resources Director at the...
At the city or?
Well, usually the human resources is in charge of the employees.
Right.
I don't know.
Would
this
this go to
goes
the city manager or
I think you could ask the city secretary.
City secretary?
Okay,
Because they would know about their charter and they would be the keeper of the ordinances and resolutions.
okay, good, thanks.
So that would be like the key contact for this. Okay.
Okay. So the cities that Kyle has compared itself to in the past include Georgetown, Pflugerville, Cedar Park, Seguin, Schertz, Universal City, and Leander. I think we decided that Universal City is kind of not necessarily a good one anymore to use. Is that correct? Okay. So that can be a list that we go off of. We've also talked about San Marcos and New Braunfels, which I think that we definitely should add those. We mentioned Round Rock as another. Hutto, Frisco, and Allen. Those were some that Frisco and Allen were some that you mentioned, Pete.
Yeah, just because they seem to be growing
Okay.
at a rate that like we are, very fast growing communities, bedroom and
Right.
predominantly outside a big city.
Yeah.
But Dripping Springs, maybe? No?
Small.
Too small?
Yeah. A little small right now. They're like 1,200 within their city
Oh.
limits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. ETJ is huge, but city limit's small. That list is a list of 12, and with 6 members on the committee, that's 2 per 2 calls basically per member. Assuming we can get some similar information from TML. So, do we want to take a look and maybe to make sure that these are the right cities, take a look at kind of their 2000 census, 2010 census, maybe
Show,
their,
show the list to,
pardon?
show the list to, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your name.
Sandra.
Sandra. It's this short-term memory loss. Two things that happen when you get to be my age. One is you start forgetting things, and I can never remember that second thing.
I think shirts and singing are the ones that are missing here. I don't know if y'all want to do shirts or singing.
I have them. I have Georgetown, Pflugerville, Cedar Park, Seguin, Schertz, Leander, San Marcos, New Braunfels, Round Rock, Hutto, Frisco, and Allen.
Okay. Those are all.
Okay. So, I'm good. Sounds good. Okay. So, what next, gentlemen? Since I'm the only,
Do you want to divide that up then?
we can go ahead and divide them up. We can just go down the list if you'd like. I'm going to let you take the DFW area. How's that
Okay, I'll
sound?
take that. Frisco and Allen?
Frisco and Allen.
I will-
Give those to you,
I will
Pete.
be glad to take those.
Okay. So then we can just kind of go down the.
I'll take Georgetown Round Rock.
You know, we need to take out Leander and Shirts because we already know that they don't pay their council members.
Okay.
So sure.
All right.
I'll take Leander and Shirts.
Me too. You're going to have to arm wrestle me for it. Okay.
Okay. So who we have?
We have Pflugerville, Cedar Park, Seguin, San Marcos.
Who's Christine missed? We'll give her Leander insurance.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
How about Pflugerville and Cedar Park?
Yeah, I'll
Does
take.
that sound good?
Yep. That's fine. I'll call them.
Okay. And then Seguin and San Marcos. And that leaves me with New Braunfels and Hutto.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So we can go ahead and start making those phone calls and asking these lovely questions.
Do you want to do it by phone calls, or do you want to try to get something in writing?
I don't know. It might be, I mean, I like having things in writing, but it might be easier if you're having a conversation to make sure that
Okay.
you're getting the information that you really want.
Okay.
So I guess, it's open for discussion. I don't know what y'all prefer to do. And I know people too, it's easy to shoot off an email and then it's real easy for people to ignore that. So maybe, you can always send, I don't know, combination. You can send an email and then follow up with a phone call, maybe.
We can call them first, and then if they need questions, we could send it
Send
off
them,
to
yeah.
and they can reply back to us. Or if they want to send other information with numbers or anything like that, we can have it
Now,
on
you
paper
know what we might want to do? Here's a
on
thought.
that.
send them an email with the questions so they have time to research
Exactly.
the answer to the
Right.
questions,
Sure.
and then tell them we're going to follow up by phone call to get the
discuss.
answers to these questions.
Okay.
So they have the questions, they can do the research, so we're not putting them on the spot when we
Right.
answer the
Yes.
phone.
Yeah.
Right.
So they can,
So we can follow up with just doing the email first,
and then
establishing
Right.
who we are, what we're trying to look at,
Right.
the information.
Exactly.
And you said the human resource
The
office or the
city
city
secretary. The city secretary.
Okay, will be the first start.
So,
Okay.
Jennifer, you're taking notes right now, minutes. Did you have all the questions, or should I
do have
send
the
the questions out to
questions.
everybody, or?
So I'm doing draft minutes really.
Okay.
And so I can pull what I heard your questions, or I was even going to ask you if I could just snap a picture and then I'll send it. That way I can copy
You
and paste.
cannot read anything. Trust me. This
Not
is
every single person has to type it up.
And I did the questions too.
okay.
We can
Yeah.
help each other.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
So
send
that'd be good. If
So
you'll,
you'll send it to us
if you'll
and we
send the
can-
questions out, so
yeah.
we're all asking the same
Yeah,
way, the
exactly.
same. So we can all put our little spin on who we are and what we're doing. You know,
More
but
formal.
the questions need to be the same so that we, you know, at least
Same
have a same starting
answer.
point, right? So
So are we not assigning any cities to Christine?
we're not
Okay.
at this point. We
the
won't.
two, yeah, the two. that
Because
don't pay.
the two cities that we know don't.
That don't.
That took, you know, 2 of them off of our list, so we only had 10. We'll divvy those up then between the 2 of us, or the 6 of us, 5 of us, however many there are. Okay, so we have our marching orders. We're going to get the questions from our city staff, and then we can go ahead and send those out. City secretary information is very easy to find. Everybody's usually right there on their website, so that shouldn't be an issue to identify
No,
any of
that
that. But
shouldn't
if you do have a problem, then I'm sure that please can help us out. Jennifer can she probably has a listing of all of them somewhere or has access to it. So, okay. So we have that. And in the meantime, we'll go to TML and see what they have as well. Is there any other information that we think we might need between now and the next meeting?
Not that I have any
No?
about it.
Next meeting's Tuesday?
Monday,
Oh, Monday.
correct? The 8th.
So that's item 3. I had 4 committee members participated on the doodle poll, so I wanted to make sure that Monday, the 8th at 5 p.m. is good for
Yeah,
everybody
that's
who's here.
So I'm gonna have
I do, are we going to be on number 3 now?
Are we ready to move on to number
Should-
2? Have we discussed
Yes.
everything? Everybody's clear what we're doing.
Question, but Hayes County, are y'all still doing that one or no?
I do, well, yes, I do want to know about what Hayes County has in terms of compensation, what they do. Is that something that you all are able to easily pull, or do we need to contact them?
I don't have the information. We would have to contact them.
Okay.
Um,
I will contact
I don't know
them.
if that would be online or.
Probably deep down, buried somewhere in a budget. It is, I bet, but it would probably just be easier to ask them.
Do they have a
So,
city secretary or how does that work? Do you know?
The county, they have a county clerk, but I'm not sure if that falls under her.
I'll just go to the county judge's office. So he's the chief administrative officer for the county. So we'll just go there and see what we can gather there.
So I am going to check TML for the list of cities and then check with TMRS.
About the
I
retirement.
have sent an email to a member of TML to see if they have any information. I've sent it already. To see if they have any data on which cities compensate their council. If I don't hear back, I was going to just call, so I can take that on.
Are there any other sources that we should be, we talked about TML and TMRS. I mean, is there anybody else that we should, that may have information
I've seen
I
pertinent
used
to this?
Google a lot when I was doing my
Yeah,
research.
to this topic, or
I've seen a couple of like listservs out there asking for the same question, so we just need to figure out how to gather that information. I think I'm not sure which department did,
subscribes to the listservs. Okay.
So I'll need to find out.
Okay.
So I kind of think TML is a good place to start for that because, like, for example, there's a city secretary listserv, but I will get everybody, not necessarily the cities that you're wanting to look at. You know?
Yeah.
And
But you want all of Texas, right?
Yeah, I mean, we would prefer, basically, like, this list that we put together is kind of our second choice, in my opinion. We'd love to get information from TML because, like I said, it's like the good, housekeeping stamp of approval. We did a survey, here's all the information for, across the whole state. But if that's not available, then this is kind of like our second choice. But rather than waiting to find out if TML has it, we're just going to go ahead and do this and kind of do them in tandem and then take the information. Does that make
And
sense?
see what we can get from ground level on this part here. Because what we're asking for them is to get research numbers as a whole.
Right, and we don't know really what
Yeah, we don't know
TML's,
if they're
if they
gonna
do a
provide.
survey, we don't know
Yes.
what kind of information they have as part of their survey. We know we want these things answered, but we don't know if TML's survey
Okay.
would answer that.
And here where it's just a matter of directing them, contacting them directly and with those specific questions, see if they could provide that info. Just to have a numbers to go by.
Right, just have something
Plans.
rather than it's like out of the air.
So your challenge is going to be that you only have a day and a half maybe to get this information gathered if you're meeting on Monday.
Okay,
Most cities are closed Saturday and Sunday.
right. But so we only
I
have,
keep on thinking it's
today's
Thursday.
Tuesday. Yeah,
I'm like,
think
really?
we have
Weekends around the
3
corner.
days left this week, right?
I'll take it.
But I will tell you, I am concerned about the time here.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it is.
When we talk about, that's something, I think, under 3 we need to discuss.
Right. Okay. All right, I think we've kind of beat this horse. Let's move on to number 3. We're all good with that? Setting our future meeting dates. So let's open it up.
Okay, I have a question. The first question I have is, and I have no preconceived answer what it is, but how, in what manner are we going to present our findings? Is it going to be a written report? Is it going to be an oral?
I believe that council is wanting someone to come and present. Like we'll put this item on the council agenda on April 16th. Whether you'll do a written or oral, or you have establish a spokesperson for that evening, or if you all come, is entirely up to
Oh, we're
you.
all coming.
Okay, so
Right now, we're going to establish that tonight. You just mark your calendars.
So my question is then, the agenda for that meeting will go out about the 11th. Is that correct?
We'll go off the Friday before, right?
It's actually the Thursday before.
Thursday before.
So it goes out the 11th. Does it need to have our findings on the backup material for the agenda?
Only that's up to y'all if you want to include it or not.
Because what I'm saying is
If we don't have it by that point, we're still.
but when are we going to have it?
Well, I mean, if we can meet on Friday, we can meet on Monday before Tuesday council meeting.
Okay, let's see, did everybody,
I don't.
well, the agenda has to go out, if it doesn't have to be on the agenda,
It doesn't have to be in the packet. We have to establish the agenda of what we're going to talk about. The packet is bonus materials.
okay, I just wanted to make sure, we were talking about transparency here, and so I wanted to make sure that, because I'm leaning towards the fact that I think it should be part of the agenda.
I mean, wouldn't it be like agendized like discussion and possible action on recommendation from blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. Okay.
So if you wanted to let the council study what you've done ahead of time,
Then we need to.
we can put it on there Thursday. We can also put it on there Friday. If y'all needed one extra day for any reason, I can add it on Friday. It's a backup material. And that was one other thing I was going to mention is because, for example, I'm going to be out of the office starting tomorrow afternoon for the rest of the week for training. So I'll need to post y'all's agenda for Monday tomorrow
before you
morning.
leave. Yeah.
And that being said, if you were to need a third meeting, we have to have 72 hours notice to post it. And so depending on when y'all wanted to have that, it might be that we have to post it, on Monday for Thursday, or if it's something.
So if we wanted to meet Thursday, we would need to decide that tonight, basically, right? Because next Monday night would be too late to do it.
Right.
Now, if we met Friday,
This Friday.
Then
we could decide that Monday.
Monday. And I could post it before I leave.
I'm available either Thursday or Friday.
I am not available on Friday. I'm
Okay,
available
so then-
Thursday.
Huh?
I'm available Thursday.
I'm not available Thursday.
Okay, so that leaves us one more meeting. Basically, that's Tuesday. That's our last meeting. We gotta have the decision made next
Monday.
Tuesday, next Monday.
By Monday.
Oh,
the
wow.
8th.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up now.
I mean, unless you met the
Unless you
Monday
meet-
before the council meeting on Tuesday, there's that, the 15th.
I think, let's see. Yeah, I'm available that day.
But
Nope.
then the agenda for the council
That's the
will
day
have already,
income taxes are due.
Yeah.
the agenda for council will have already been published at that
Yeah.
point. I mean, that's something to consider as well.
I'm available Friday, not Thursday.
And you were talking about this
And
week.
she's
We're
not
talking
available
about-
Friday.
Yeah, I mean, if I
We're talking about this week, right?
Friday, I think they were
The
talking about
4th?
the 12th. Right? Maybe
Oh, okay, we're talking about next week, okay. The 11th.
are we
12th.
talking about next Friday? Or are we talking about this Friday? I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
This Friday I can't be here. 'cause
Okay.
I'm going for a conference. But
It's this
I can
Friday. I'm
send-
not available.
Yeah, we're talking.
Next Friday, I'm available.
Okay, so we're talking about the 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah, because it would be after, our next meeting is the 8th, so I'm talking about a meeting
Okay,
after the
that.
8th.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about a meeting right before it.
No, I'm talking about
All
a
right,
meeting
sorry.
between the 8th and when we have to have something ready for council.
Misunderstood.
By the
I
16th.
am available on the 12th.
I'm available on 12th.
We do it
Are you available that Friday?
Yeah.
I'm here, sir.
like
Okay, so.
like
you want-
tonight, 5 to 7 again.
Set a meeting for Friday.
The 12th. So we'll have the meeting on Monday, the 8th.
Then the 12th.
And
then
then by
the
the 12th, we'll have our findings and we'll have it ready to go by the 16th.
Sure, that's the plan.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be the plan.
I think, we have to decide, to say that on the 12th, we're going to be voting on our recommendations.
Right,
So we should have everything hopefully by the 8th,
right. So that gives us 3 days
3
this
days
week to
this
make
week to send out.
calls, emails, gather our information, hopefully get something from TML, come together on the 8th and see what everybody has found and kind of digest that and then hopefully put together our straw man recommendation and then finalize that on the 12th.
Yes.
Okay.
And then President.
And that gives you plenty of time to post those meetings, obviously.
So,
When should we expect the questions on email so that we can be asking all? Is that going to be going out sometime this week?
That should,
Uh,
the questions you all,
I'm going to send them out today.
today? Okay,
and we can start calling or reaching the people
yeah.
between now and Friday,
Yeah.
the 5th, okay. That gives them at least 24,
yeah.
48 hours to respond back. And hopefully it'll be by Friday or by Monday the 8th or whatever it is, and we can just go from there.
Again, we're reaching out to our the city secretaries,
City
identifying
secretaries.
ourselves as a member of this committee, doing research. Very much appreciate your assistance in helping us answer these questions, please. So,
Sounds good.
okay,
We have
All
it
right.
down.
sounds good. So we've got the setting of the future meetings established. Guess at this point, there's nothing left on the agenda except for us to adjourn.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Yes.
Because you asked about pension plans for city council members, and Sandra's going to be looking at that. Would those pension plans be retroactive to former city council members who had served?
No, because if they're not on it now, I think it would have to be a part of whatever we proposed, and it would go into effect the effective date.
Of the year.
I mean, that's the way I would read it, the effective date.
Okay, I just want to make certain.
Yeah, that's the way I would
That
say
is
it.
one thing, but
No, I think we're talking about a compensation package effective for the people on the date that it is passed going forward.
I would just hope that wording would definitely.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yes, we'll have to.
yeah.
Because usually on the pension plans, 7% of your salary goes to TMRS. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
deducted from the
Yeah,
pay.
and they have a choice of whether they want to be in it or
Paid
not,
or not.
right?
The employees don't.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's even better. I like it. Okay. So instead of their FICA,
No, we do FICA as
you
well.
do FICA too, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I will accept the motion to adjourn.
I second.
All right. All those in
favor,
who
say aye.
you're gonna make my motion.
I make,
You're gonna second it. I'm just kidding.
make the motion to adjourn.
You
the
seconded
meeting.
a motion that wasn't made yet. So, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign. Okay, we will see you guys next Monday. In the meantime, happy phone calling.
Yes.